I love hosting parties at home, and when I do, I'm constantly thinking, what is that new dish that I can make which is different from the earlier one that I did, and which is tasty and it feels good to the palate. Let me tell you an instance. When I was in the US, I had tasted a samosa which had spinach and mozzarella cheese in it. It was deep fried, and when you took a bite, the mozzarella cheese would just pull out and the spinach would sort of linger in your mouth. And they called it a triangle. It, usually available in the frozen section. So when I came back home, I said I must give this recipe a try, maybe add a twist to it. Instead of mozzarella, add paneer. So that's how I sort of started making these spinach and paneer samosas that I called. So in today's roast Archana with Figaro Olive Oil, I'm going to be showing you how to make this samosa. Really simple. I'm going to be deep frying it in pure olive oil. So without wasting any time, let's just dive right in and start making. So now to begin making our samosas, I have with me a bowl. I'm going to add in the wheat flour. Typically maida is added, but I'm going to add wheat. Wheat also works well. And to add to the crunch, I'm going to add a little bit of semolina or suji. Right? And to add to the taste and flavor, when you take a bite of the crust, I'm going to add some ajwain. Okay. You can also add kalonji or a combination of both, and some salt to taste. Salt is very important. Don't miss it out. And I'm going to give this a mix. And to now bind the samosa, I'm going to be adding in some olive oil. Typically ghee is added into the samosa crust, but I like adding olive oil because it not only is good for us, but also makes the samosa light and crunchy too. And it doesn't alter the taste. It maintains all the flavors of the samosa, how a samosa crust should be. So I'm just going to sort of mix it well until it forms coarse crumbles, okay? Once we get that consistency, we'll add a little water at a time and knead it to make a nice firm dough. Now that the samosa has come together, I'm going to cover the samosa with a lid, and maybe just this one, and allow it to rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. In that time, I'm going to show you how to make the spinach and paneer filling. Now I have my spinach ready, which I'm going to sort of chop it up. And now I'm going to saute the green chilies and the spinach and the paneer crumble in a pan and quickly sort of bring them together so we can put it in the filling. So now to begin cooking, into my pan, I'm going to add in the olive oil. And I'm going to add in the chopped spinach and green chilies. We're going to saute them until they just about soften. You don't want it to make it really mushy, but just about soften. It just takes about a minute or less than that for it to wilt down. So as soon as it softens, I'm going to turn off the heat so that we'll be able to sort of touch it and fill it into the samosa after adding the paneer. Okay, it's already softening, and just a little more and we should be done. So it's essential that you don't add water in, otherwise the spinach will give out a lot of water and you don't want your samosa to be sort of watery. And that's it. I'm going to turn off the heat and allow it to cool in a little bit. And I'm going to stir in the paneer and a few spices, chatpata spices, to make this samosa tasty. Okay, and into this I'm going to add the crumpled paneer, which is homemade, and I just sort of crumpled it, and a dash of garam masala, just a dash, because the other important ingredient is going to be the chaat masala. The chaat masala has some salt, so the salt that you add after it has to be done after tasting, and ensure you added just the amount you need. I'm just going to add a pinch because I just know. I'm going to just give this a stir, and the filling for the spinach and paneer samosas is ready, and I'm going to show you how to roll it and fill it in. Okay, so the the dough was well rested and it was soft, and I rolled it up into large portions. You have to sort of roll it into large lemons, okay? Because you need to cut them into semicircles and then fill the samosa, make a cone and then fill it. So I'm just going to bring it all together. Now I'm going to pour in some olive oil into the pan. Olive oil is a great medium for deep frying because it doesn't get rancid and it is resistant to high heat. So which means you can keep using it again and again. So now that the oil is preheated, I'm going to add in the samosas one at a time. And deep fry them until they're nice and crisp, okay? We'll wait for it to become golden and crisp. Notice the samosas are nice and brown, and this is the exact color that we want. And I'm gonna just sort of place it on my platter that I'm going to serve in. And I'm going to show you a really different way to serve, sort of experienced in a roadside street shop near my home. It's called the Jodhpuri Samosa and Jalebi shop, right? And most always we tend to serve samosas just like this and give the chutneys by the side, and so that people can sort of peel their own samosas, dip and eat. But today I'm going to show you something different. So let's just do that. I'm going to put my oil away and just show you how to serve it. And so here's how he would serve it in a newspaper, but I'm using an earthy bowl. And what he would do is to sort of smash the samosa like that, right? And it tastes really nice. And he would just sort of sprinkle the chutney on the top, and the date chutney, sort of drizzle a little bit on the top, and then put in some chopped onions and serve. Isn't that a wonderful way to serve samosa? Well, I've always served samosas by placing it neatly on a platter and putting the chutneys by the side and let the guests help themselves. But maybe you can try something different at your party. Buy these earthen bowls and sort of smash the samosa in and do this, and it tastes brilliant. You have to try it. So I hope you enjoyed watching this recipe of how to make the spinach and paneer samosa. We'll be coming back with more such rose kakana recipes with Figaro olive oil. So until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.